I'm David Sheehan, ready to salute what's been called the Year of the Woman by taking you up close and inside the personalities and performances of 5 very different leading ladies of Hollywood in the 90s. Julia Roberts, Michelle Pfeiffer, Sharon Stone, Janet Jackson, and Meg Ryan all have success and talent in common, but they each have their own way of dealing with things, as we shall see, whether it be power, sex, marriage, motherhood, female role models, stardom today, or visions of tomorrow. Michelle Pfeiffer, for example. There aren't many star images quite as complex and contradictory as Michelle Pfeiffer's. She has movie star written all over her finely chiseled features, but Michelle couldn't care less about the glamour of it all. She's one of Hollywood's power ladies, whether she likes it or not, and she sometimes gets as outspoken about women's issues as her characters have been about other things.
Don't call me baby. I'm not your baby.
From her 1983 debut in Scarface, opposite Al Pacino, to her reunion with Pacino 8 years later in Frankie and Johnny,
Why do you want to go out with me?
Michelle Pfeiffer has definitely done her own thing in her own way. She's gotten Oscar nominations for Dangerous Liaisons, The Fabulous Baker Boys, and Love Field, but Michelle's proudest moment came this year when she was honored by Hollywood's Women in Film organization, accepting with her own impression of the Year of the Woman as reflected in movies like Indecent Proposal, Mad Dog and Glory, and Pretty Woman.
So, this is the Year of the Woman. Well, yes, this has actually been a very good year for women. Demi Moore was sold to Robert Redford for $1 million. Uma Thurman went for $40,000 to Mr. De Niro. And, you know, just 3 years ago, Richard Gere bought Julia Roberts for, what was it, just $3,000? So I'd say that's real progress.
What would your review be of that performance?
Of
your performance of
at
what
the
you did
Women in
there?
Film?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it was honest. I think it wasn't vicious, but I think it was, I mean, I felt that the day couldn't go by, or the event couldn't go by, without some mention of the kind of year women have really had.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed kind of silly to me.
What are your hopes for the future in that respect?
For women?
Mm-hmm.
It would be really great if a 60-year-old woman was on the cover of People magazine and they said, the sexiest woman alive.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know that I'll live to see that day, but...
Well, whether she lives to see that day or not, Michelle Pfeiffer has already done her share to redefine female identity in the roles she's played. And believe it or not, Catwoman in Batman Returns is one of her personal favorites, precisely because of the female identity issue.
I am Catwoman. Hear me roar.
It was so taboo to see women behaving in that way, and there was something, and it was like the good and the bad. You never knew if she was a good character or if she was a bad guy. And that in itself was unusual.
Tearing down taboos and breaking new ground really has been the hallmark of Michelle Pfeiffer's career, and the more unlikely a choice might seem, the more likely for her to do it.
When I first heard you were going to play Catwoman, Michelle Pfeiffer's going to play Catwoman in this cartoony costume movie? What?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any of that when you first considered the idea of doing it, that this was really not quite right or anything?
No, it's not that I felt it wasn't right, because it felt very right, actually, for that very reason, because I had never done anything even remotely similar to this. But I did realize what a departure it was for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I got excited about that.
The departure itself was kind of a kick, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Dangerous Liaisons was a departure, too, in a different way. Period piece, sexual passion, and an Oscar nomination, but not nearly as close to home for Michelle.
Did you identify as much with the character in Dangerous Liaisons as you did with Catwoman?
No, actually,
No?
I didn't. I found it difficult playing somebody who was being victimized all the time. I found that in every scene it was sort of, okay, how do I do this same scene differently?
Yeah.
And it was challenging in its own right because of that. but it didn't really kind of inspire me as a performer because I had to really work to stay, I guess, interested.
She had no trouble staying interested in the rebel countess she plays so exquisitely well in The Age of Innocence because Michelle Pfeiffer has a lot in common with the countess who can't help defying the uptight conventions of 19th century New York society, even pursuing a forbidden love affair with Daniel Day-Lewis as a man of propriety who's engaged to another.
Are you very much in love with her?
As much as a man can be.
Do you think there's a limit?
They say you can tell a lot about an actor from the roles they choose, right? What does the choice of this role tell us about Michelle Pfeiffer? What does it reveal?
Probably being the outcast and probably her willfulness and her spirit.
Mm-hmm. You have a similar spirit, huh?
I think I have the same kind of determination.
And rebelliousness?
Yeah.
Kind of a rebel at heart, huh?
Well, I used to be. You know, I'm older now.
Really? Did it soften?
Well, yeah, you know, the edges are a little softened, I guess.
Yeah.
But you'd never know it from the way she invests the character she plays in The Age of Innocence with the hard-edge ability to be defiant on the one hand and very ladylike on the other.
May I tell you what most interests me about New York? Not all the blind obeying of tradition, somebody else's tradition. It seems stupid to have discovered America only to make it a copy of another country.
You always kind of described yourself as sort of a tomboy, at least when you were a kid. How did the tomboy in Michelle Pfeiffer feel and relate to this very exquisite, elegant portrayal that you've done?
Well, I think I'm always a little amazed when I see myself behaving like such a lady.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not like me, you know. I mean, I've got my feet up on the couch and I'm...
And you used your beauty in a very exquisite fashion. Does that mean you're more accepting of your beauty now? I mean, like Frankie and Johnny, you were, you know, trying to kind of go away from it.
Well, that was because that was appropriate for the role.
Right.
Even though I felt that the crux of the character, Frankie and Johnny, was not how she looked in any way. For me, it was about a person who had been wounded too many times and was shut down, and that can be, you know, you can have any facade for that to happen.
Don't start writing me notes.
What about presents? What if I start giving you presents? I mean, would that help?
You can afford that?
No, I'm saying little.
Yeah, I don't like presents and little things.
I know. I'm gonna back off.
That was the nature of the character, and for this, the nature of the character was that she was more attractive and more... I mean, it's a glamorous movie, you know, everybody... I mean, I was working in a diner, I'm working in a grease pit, you know, it's a little different.
Which do you prefer?
The grease pit, probably.
Do you really?
Yeah.
It's more you?
Well, it's more relaxed.
But you were comfortable in Baker Boys, too, with Susie, right? I mean, that was
fun.
That was you, wasn't it?
Close to me, yeah.
In its own way?
Yeah.
A lot of shoes.
What wasn't so comfortable for her about the Baker Boys was the singing.
The groom is nervous.
And when she won a Best Actress Golden Globe for her performance, the singing is what Michelle talked about most backstage.
Well, I mean, and even I, after I committed to doing it, I thought, my God, I have to sing? Are you crazy? What have you done? And especially after I attempted to do it, because I hadn't sang in quite a few years. But I worked very hard for a couple of months, and I managed to get my voice together.
But don't forget, folks, that's what you get, folks, for making whoopee.
Michelle Pfeiffer's flair for romance, whether in The Baker Boys, Frankie and Johnny, or in The Age of Innocence, is alive and well in real life, too. Michelle just got married to TV producer David Kelly. But long before their love affair even began, Michelle broke her own rule about no private life details to the press by celebrating her decision to become a single mother with the adoption of a newborn baby in print.
You've become more public now with your private life, like Vanity Fair and so on. Are you comfortable with that? I mean, with the baby and all, now everybody knows.
Well, how are they not going to know I have a
Right.
baby, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't... Yeah, I feel fine about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, why did you do that?
What?
Decide to adopt?
Because I wanted to be a mother.
Yeah. And how's it going so far?
Great.
And how does it integrate with the career?
Well, you know, it's taken some doing and all, but and I'm fortunate in that I can bring her to work, and not many women have that luxury, which should change as well. But it's been a little exhausting, but it's been wonderful.
So, a new baby, a new husband, and a stunning new Oscar-worthy performance in The Age of Innocence make this the age of abundance for Michelle Pfeiffer. In fact, it is that for all our leading ladies, one way or another.